sounds
Tonya,
for Halloween.
Tonya, are you being able to stream this in YouTube?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have the address?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can post it on the net, it will be great.
And Alberto, did Jonathan? Is he on his way or?
Yeah, I'm sending him
Mm.
the link here. I just contacted him. So
Okay, sweet. Okay.
actually, I set the space at to begin at 10:10 to make sure that he can be here with a certain margin of time. And well, wow, so many people. This is going to be really cool and scary at the same time, I think. Anybody from Apple is here? Raise your hands.
I hope so.
Yeah, I really hope so. Yeah, probably they can be listening without being there. But anyway, I am sending a message to Jonathan. Yeah, you know how.
Yeah. Hi, Q. I see you there as a listener.
Okay, he's on his way. So you guys haven't heard the news about the Apple being releasing new versions of the operating system recently. Well, many news have been around in the past days, many interesting things. And well, Jonathan will.
This is the best thing that could happen. Is just having someone's ear about these issues. So I really appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Well, Jonathan Scott is an expert in hacking. He has been working in the industry for a long time, and he has recently made public some information that potentially affects all of us in terms of our privacy being violated by certain company or companies. And he and I
Lame.
was sorry, and he and I will believe that uh, people should know the truth about all this, and that is why Jonathan is here trying to explain about his research and conclusions regarding uh, some severe problems about this topic. So, Jonathan, you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation, making public all this information. Why are you taking this risk of disclosing your findings?
Yeah, there's a I get to a point in my life that I couldn't I couldn't hold it anymore. I guess couldn't keep it in. It's one of those things that I suppose you you develop your ethos later on in life, maybe for me at least, and what I stand for, and you know, I suppose what I was a party to, um, needs to be known. And there's a bigger there's a bigger issue here than we understand. Um, so I suppose that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, well,
So
those who doesn't know me, I have been in prison in Uruguay for actually trying to do the right thing, for trying to help people, for trying to solve a problem that involved hundreds of thousands of medical records of a medical provider, and I had to pay a very high price for doing the right thing. So it really takes a lot of courage to expose to these things because uh, the, in this profession, actually, we were talking with Jonathan the other day, and you don't do this because it's cool. We do this because we believe in certain things, and that will drive us. And there are risks involved in all these issues. And well, I'm a good example of how bad things can go when you try to do the right thing. So, Jonathan, can you tell us about your research and the issues, your findings? Uh,
yes. So I guess I need to give people a little bit more um, some more context as to why you're here, and what why I'm yes, my ethos has changed, but you know what's the issue, right? But I got to give you a little bit of a background first. So in 2018, I was asked by Verizon Wireless to create some tools um, that will bypass Google Android's security, so that in a way that had no user interaction. So essentially, if you're familiar with Android Debug Bridge, this is kind of the it's the security. If you can bypass the security of Android Debug Bridge, where you can have access to everything on the device, um, and meaning your pictures, your contacts, your history of everything that you've done. I mean, this is the way that you actually can back up your phone, right? You can data wipe your phone. Um, just there's this is the this is the thing that this kind of like the gold. If you can access this on a phone, this is the gold for anyone. And so Verizon Wireless said, I need this solution. And so I'm in San Antonio, Texas at the time. I am a principal security engineer for a company called Manipov LLC. And what they did was what's called reverse logistics. So they essentially, in plain terms, they purchased cell phones and they refurbished them uh, not necessarily like change their screens out, things like that. It's more of they would data clear the phones, and uh, they would kind of put them back out into the world. At the time, they didn't have a repair facility. It was very interesting. When I started there, I was actually recruited to create a solution for a buyback program for GameStop. And I'm kind of backing up from the Verizon thing because this is important to understand. Well, where did I get this knowledge? How did I understand it? And so I was recruited because I've been a mobile security engineer for I believe it's now 12 years. And this story starts in 2015, and my Verizon meeting was in 2018. So 2015, I create this solution for all GameStops around the world, along with a team, of course. But my role was specifically to create a solution where as which people could come into a GameStop or an EB Games or a ThinkGeek and trade in their phones and get a price from the GameStop department, that they or the store that they went into, and then come out with cash or credit. But the company that recruited me had promised GameStop that all this could be done without any human interaction, and all they had to do was just plug in a phone, and they could get a price. They could diagnose the phone, and and data wipe it at the end. Well, uh, it didn't turn out that way. I wasn't at the time able to actually. I didn't. I wasn't able to actually do all these things without human interaction. We still had to, when you took a phone in to resell it or get some money for it, the attendant for GameStop still had to press stuff on the phone. There was still security. It still had to be authenticated. The solution that they gave GameStop didn't have this, one-stop shop kind of thing that they wanted. But it was starting to seem like this was a very common thing that people wanted, right? And it wasn't just GameStop. I had heard that so many other people wanted to bypass all of these security so that they could, make things faster with the trade-ins and refurbishing, things like that. Um, I'm talking big companies, not just GameStop. I'm talking like AT&T, T-Mobile. They all are reselling phones, and the process to do this apparently to them was very slow, so they wanted to bypass all the security. Okay, fast forward. It's 2018. I'm still working at this company, Manipoth, and I'm approached by one of these kind of sales liaisons for Manipoth, and he says, "I want to connect you with someone from Verizon who needs this solution created, and this solution is something that is um, it is well, we can't talk about it. It's secret, and but if you can do it, then that's amazing. You come out to XP Logistics." So I'm passed off this contact information to this. His name is Javier Villarreal. He works at Verizon, XPO Logistics in Dallas, Texas, and he texts me, talks to me, and says, like, these are the things that I need done. I need you to bypass the authentication for a Samsung Verizon phone, meaning I need you to get through ADB, and without touching it, I need you to authorize the phone to always have an authorization on it. After you do that, I need you to install an application. I need you to bring up the application. After that, I need you to data wipe the phone. And then after that, I need you to actually drop it into download mode just to make sure that you still have full control. Now, if anybody's technical and understands Androids, this is, it seems almost impossible, right? This is something that people work on like for, their lives trying to bypass this authentication. And so I said, okay. And I created the solution the next day. And he said, I don't believe it. And so I took a video, and he said, take a video with 4 different devices. So I did. And this video I've shared with people on YouTube, and I'll share it with you right now too, again on Twitter. So I guess if Alberto, you may want to reset the room so I can put this up on Twitter so you guys can follow along this entire journey. This is real. I want you all to question me. I want you to ask the questions. I want you to investigate yourselves so that you can see the answers. So I'll go off mic real quick and then maybe
I will post on the nest the links to your YouTube videos. Meanwhile, can you tell us regarding these issues? Have you contact any of the company that you mentioned regarding these issues, and what was the answer that you got?
So I actually, I guess regard no. Yeah, no. The answer is no. I hadn't. I haven't reached out to Google or Samsung, LG, Motorola. I haven't reached out to any of these people because this is a bigger issue that I've discovered has not been fixed for over 10 years, and I mean it's very blatant, it's very deliberate, right? These holes that I'm finding that are allowing me to actually break through to Google's Android debug bridge are they're plain as day. I mean, and these things go they go deep. I want to say deep. I mean, we're talking about chipset level vulnerabilities. So it doesn't matter. For example, it doesn't matter what operating system version you're on to bypass authentication for a Samsung mobile device that's on a Verizon network, because the way to get in has always been the same. I mean, the proof of concepts that I'm doing are we're talking like back from Android 4.4.4 to the latest. And I'm going to tweet this out real quick so you guys can see this video. It's a little bit long, but you know, if you understand mobile security or even just curious about it, and if you don't, that's all right. You can still actually read the description. Now, I posted this video unlisted in 2019, although I had created it in 2018. Because when I was at Verizon and I finally understood the scope of everything, no NDAs were signed. The demonstrations that I actually gave on this software that I had created, everything I didn't even have a table. I didn't have a desk. It was about 6 or 7 people and myself in a small back room in XPO Logistics. I'll never forget this room. It was literally a storage facility, small storage facility, and they put me in a chair almost like it was they took from a cafeteria, and everyone was huddled around. It was very hot, and they were wanting to see this actually work. They couldn't believe. They're in disbelief that I could actually take any Samsung, Verizon phone and enable ADB on this device and start tapping authorizations on the screen without ADB enabled. And it was so at the time it was very, very I guess scary to them too, but they knew that they had found exactly what they needed. So I flew to XPO Logistics 3 times and met with a lot of different people, all facilitated by Javier Villarreal. And had to check in security just like everyone else. I had to give them my ID. I had to be patted down for anything, because this facility is a facility that processes probably 1 million secondhand devices a year. So what happens is maybe you turned in your phone, or maybe your phone has been damaged or something that always has to go somewhere. And so the thing that was very interesting is that once I created this and Verizon acknowledged this, so what would they do is they actually gave me a computer, and they said, well, the first demo I did, I brought my own computer, and the second demo, they said you cannot bring your own computer. We're going to provide you a computer because there could be something weird with the computer that you brought, something weird with the cables that you brought. And they said, we're going to provide you with a computer. What kind of computer do you need? And I told them a Mac. And they said, we want you to write this live in front of us, and we're going to go onto the production floor, and we're going to pull phones, and we're going to give you cables, and all of this is going to be done in front of a group of people. Again, we're in a small. Every time we're in a small back little room, actually a side room. It's not it's on the side in a giant warehouse, and so yes, they did that. They put me in a chair, and I started writing code on their machine, and it worked exactly like they wanted. And again, they said, no one can know about this. This is very, very hush. We cannot say anything about this at all. And so it was this hush project. And they said, so they told me, if you want to, work with us, we need a little bit more. We need you to do the same thing for LG, Motorola, Google Pixel. We need you to bypass all of their authentication, and we need you to do the exact same video demo if you want this done. And at this point, I'm like, are you kidding me? No, I mean, I'm not gonna do this. I've already given you so much. You more than likely you've already stolen my code, and this is ridiculous. So I fly back to San Antonio that day, and I get on a phone call or FaceTime call with Javier Villarreal for about 3 hours, and he's trying to convince me that this is the great opportunity. I would have to move to Dallas, and I would work there at their facility, and that they have someone there that had tried to create a similar solution, and he stays there all the time, just in case something is needed. And and I would do the same thing, but I'd be taking that position over. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Like, this is horrible. This is the worst thing. I mean, I'm telling you, when I talk about a small room, yeah, that it was really bad, and the way they were treating me too, it was just horrible, absolutely horrible. Like literally, I was just yeah. So I said no, and so this person that had introduced me to this person to Javier Villarreal from Verizon said, well, what did you do? Why did you say no? And I said, well, because it didn't seem right. Like, something was off about this whole thing. I mean, it's just not right to, I don't like it. So he starts saying, yeah, it's okay, fine. There's plenty of other people that want. I've already talked about this to a lot of people. So we're going to go to Richard Branson. We're going to go to Carlos Slim. We're going to go to, the heads of all of these businesses, like T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T. And so this guy had all these contacts. That's what he did. He was a former Army, and that's what he was. He was a guy that just had a way with words, I suppose, and just really, I mean, he actually his name is Jerry Fortenberry. He was actually trying to run for, I believe, state representative in Dallas. You can look him up, and uh, just a really interesting story about what happened to him next. But I want to kind of get to the meat of all of this, which is, you're probably thinking this is kind of meaty already, but it gets deep. So, well, I essentially I'm shopped around. So since I have these solutions that I've created, essentially to Jerry, I have a gold mine in my hands, and it's always whatever you need, brother. Whatever you need, anything that you want, brother. And it was always just kind of real, like, uncomfortable, pushing me towards wherever he wanted, but yet telling me it's what I needed. Well, it turns out, he ends up putting me in touch with a company that actually really is interested in purchasing these solutions that I've created. And so this company's Blanco Technology Group. I end up selling all these solutions, everything. Well, let me tell you what the solutions are. These solutions are part of a tool set I call Bricks. And Bricks is the foundation of how to identify, diagnose, and data clear, validate mobile devices, IoT devices, on a whole nother level that we hadn't been able to do before, to the extent that we had there's 2 patents pending in my name. Well, it has not in my name as under Blanco Technology Group, but the original inventor is me. These technologies include stealth mode enabling of ADB, meaning you don't know that anyone has ever been inside of your phone, because the way that I've created these solutions completely bypasses any sort of prompt that would come up on your screen. So the link that I sent you actually shows a prompt come up on the screen when on a device that's not even been set up yet. There's no rooting involved. Now, so basically, you can imagine like what GameStop had originally wanted versus what I was able to actually produce for Blanco is different. I was actually able to produce this for Blanco. Now, what actually gained me more credibility is that turns out that someone from GameStop ended up working for Blanco, and they vouched for my work, which is I guess in an ironic way. They said, well, yes, he can do this because he's done this for, Fortune 500 company already. So these solutions and Bricks are all in a lawsuit. You can see all of them if you care to do it. So my name is Jonathan Villarreal. I go by Jonathan Scott because I am in the process of changing my last name. That's funny because the Javier Villarreal, it's very interesting how there's a bunch of people with the same last name involved in this whole bit. But yeah, I'm in the process of changing my name. I have just a few more steps, and then I will truly have my surname removed. Go back to the technologies really quickly before I talk about a couple of other things. So the data wiping that I was able to perform on these phones is fast. Almost, I mean, you'll see it in this video. At the time, this technology didn't exist out in the wild. And by the way, everything that I'm talking about is in the wild right now. It is actively in the wild. It's being resold. I actually even had a meeting with Amazon, and Amazon Renew, the head of Amazon Renew. I have the email still. They wanted this solution. It just didn't feel right. I guess it was because at the time I was more there was just greed and just pride, wanting more money, right? I just wanted more. I wanted more. I worked on this for so long, and I felt, well, if you're going to have this, then you're going to have to pay top dollar. And I didn't have a name for myself to create tools like this. I honestly, at the time, I didn't even know about bug bounty programs. I didn't know. I mean, I was so it's just kind of in my own world of research. I'd been researching for all of these things I had been researching for over 10 years. And then, finally someone cares about this research that I had been doing, and it is actually useful. I think it's the rest of the world was really, I guess I was just really closed off to it. So I felt like, well, this is my opportunity to have this life. I suppose this material life that I had always wanted. I guess to be straight with it, right? This fancy cars, a house, you name it. I mean, the materialistic part of me was it was disgusting and horrible, and this is the truth about who I was at this time. I don't want to deceive anybody. this is the reason why I was doing this. I knew the impact of what I was doing. I was creating tools that is essentially aiding in spyware. This is the reality of what I was creating. So I want to kind of jump forward a little bit. I'm getting a lot of criticism for the things that I'm putting out on Twitter, the lives that I'm doing. And I want to tell you that the people are criticizing, but everything that I'm actually putting out has already been purchased. So people can criticize all they want. They can say it's not a vulnerability. They can say this isn't anything at all. But I've trained people around the world on how to use these things. I've trained people around the world to create solutions on top of these solutions. So this is just the beginning of what I'm teaching. I created true trust vulnerabilities that are out in the world right now, and I was paid over $2.2 million total for them. And this is a true story. I mean, this is not fabrication. I'm in a lawsuit right now. The lawsuit is called Villarreal versus Signs. My former business partner, and this is the cousin, my cousin's husband, who I hadn't even seen since I was 11 years old, kind of weaseled his way into this business deal that I had. And so the person that actually introduced me to Blanco Technology Group was kicked out because I had somebody actually invest or donate some money for me because they said, I believe in you having, success. They didn't particularly know what I was doing, right? But it was just a mutual friend that Jerry Fortenberry and I, who is the person who introduced me to Verizon and Blanco. He said, here's 10 grand, but he didn't give it to me. He wrote a check and gave it to Jerry Fortenberry and said, hey, we need to, you should, get Jonathan whatever equipment he needs so that he can, do his best. He didn't ask for anything back. He didn't, he's like, just, do this for him. And he trusted Jerry to put it in his bank account. Well, Jerry blows it in Las Vegas. And when it's time, I say, hey, I need a new computer so I can, go present these solutions to this company, Blanco Technology Group in Salt Lake City, Utah, January 2019, as you see in the video on YouTube. This is why I uploaded it. There was no money left from this person. His name is Zig Cherkowski, I believe is how you say it. But it's a ZIG and then I'm sorry, Kurzonsky. It's if you find him, so Zig Kurzonsky, you'll find him online. Is who actually gave me some money to actually pursue independence and stuff. A really nice man. Didn't expect anything in return. Was just a mutual friend. So when it all came down, it's like I need equipment. I need to do these things for this presentation in Salt Lake City, Utah, for Blanco Technology Group. There's no money available, so he says, well, I think we probably have maybe $2,000 left over. So just get like baseline computer from Apple, and we'll just get more money later. That's fine. And honestly, I didn't think about it any of the time, and I'm like, well, I guess I was just too trusting, I suppose. And so my wife said, wait, why is there $2,000 left from what Zig asked Jerry to to deposit? Because I didn't feel comfortable depositing someone's check into my checking account. It just for me, I still had a little bit of moral compass at that time, I suppose. So it was Jerry said, I'll just do it. I'll do it. I'll get him whatever he needs. And I said, oh, all right, that sounds fair. That's why I didn't take this check and put it in my account at that time. So my wife says, this is crazy. What's going on? And so it just turns out, yes, he said stolen this money, and then said, well, It was actually money for me, not for you. Well, anyways, let's go forward a little bit. We're still in January, and my John Edward Signs. Called the Signs of Fraud. Signs is SAENZ. And if you're looking up the lawsuit right now, Billy Real versus Signs, there's a lot of media coverage already on it. But people don't know, and they don't know to correlate it with me. They don't know that this is me, same person that's actually trying to fight for human rights, equality, justice, because I know what I've done and I know what I've created. So this lawsuit is a lawsuit. Well, I guess we go forward by a little. Well, so we'll go back to January 2019, and my former business partner, who was my cousin-in-law, weasels his way into my company. The former, Jerry Fortenberry's out. Actually, John Signs kicks him out and says, you pay the stupid tax for not signing a contract, so you get nothing. Anyway, the point being is this was all a ruse, and it was all a sham to steal the technology I'd created. Now, we're in February, so I had presented my solution, my solutions. I hate to even call them that. So strange. Let me remind or catch people up on actually what's going on. So I'm in front of Blanco Technology Groups, all of the CEOs, vice presidents of this company, and I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah, and a very nice. I believe we were in the Hilton Hotel. It was during a Sundance Film Festival. It was very cold, and there were people from all over the world. This is clearly before COVID had hit, and I'm so nervous. I mean, just to give you more context, I'm diagnosed with agoraphobia. So failure is a very big thing in my mind, and being around big groups of people like that and presenting, it was just like, oh my, this is horrible. I stumbled and fell so much. I mean, like when I was presenting, it was like I'm gonna lose this because I can't even get my words out. And it ended up they were very patient, and because they had seen the video that I had uploaded on YouTube, the link that I've just put on my profile, and which, by the way, is very descriptive. And if I have a minute to read the description for everyone that's not seen it, this is very important. I'll tell you what this does, which was the
sorry, I am putting that on the nest. I also put many of your videos in your YouTube channel here. I will post that video right now.
Thank you. So the description, and if anybody ever watches my other videos, you'll notice my handle is Ox, and it's 0x. So this is me. And there's 4 videos, and this is just one of 4. It says enable Android debug bridge without any device modifications or installations. USB cables are standard USB-C or micro USB. Number 2, what this video is showing, auto-authorize RSA security without user interaction, gaining full authorized ADB access to the device. A silent solution is available that does not present an RSA key prompt, still gaining full access to the device, full authorized access to the device. Number 3, bypassing the device setup and going to the home screen. Pin locks, pattern locks, alphanumeric passcodes, fingerprint locks, retina scan locks, or mobile device management is bypassed in this process, and all locks are removed if any are detected. Google, McAfee, Samsung reactivation, and many more will be permanently removed or left intact if needed. Number 4, installation of any APK on multiple devices was done just for demo purposes, and this can be silently done in the background, hidden without detection. APKs, binaries, or any other application can be installed fully authorized without user interaction. Data extraction without ADB while the device is locked is available and can be done silently with a full diagnostics log erase within seconds. Number 5, full data clearing of the device in less than 3 seconds. This can be run against DoD standards and can be fully validated for data sanitization in less than 5 seconds after reboot. This can be done without ADB enabled and without any user authorization. Passcode locks and MDMs are not a factor, and device clearing can still proceed. Number 6, full firmware flash with custom or OEM signed firmware is available. ADB does not have to be enabled for this, and if the device has been locked, this solution will bypass the firmware flash lock as well. These solutions have been tested and validated to work for up to 200 devices at a time. And so this is the thing that I made. This is one of the things that I made. So now we enter the U.S. government, right? Because so my con artist cousin said, I have this contact in the Department of Defense. Excuse me, let me take a drink. So my con artist cousin has this colonel in the U.S. Army. He said, we're going to be rich, we're going to make a lot of money, and we're going to sell these solutions everywhere. So but we need to get this government contracts first. He talked to this Colonel Don Devine. I'm going to post this document. So anybody that's in here that was in my Clubhouse talk the other day, you've probably seen this. But I'm going to post this document. This is very, very important so that you can read along with me and understand that what what I'm saying is real. These are real emails from the the government email addresses, and just trying to get the Google Drive. It's safe. Don't worry. This is not a scam. If you're in here, you know me. I'm not trying to harm you at all. I appreciate you at least listening. So I'm just going to share this link. 1 second. This is a PDF document, and I'm going to actually put it in my feed right now. And yes, so it is, again, it is safe. You can see that when you look at it, it shows that it's a Google Drive. There's no scam. There's no trick. This is just a document. So I'll give you all a little bit of time to open that so you can follow along with me, because this part is very, very important. And so let's set the corporate aside while we look at this together. Again, I had posted this the other night because I had a 3-hour clubhouse on this, or 3 or 4 hour clubhouse, and it was just like the first part, and it gets really interesting. Let's just to say the least. But so I'll begin. I knew what I had created was something that was dangerous. I mean, there's text messages that I had specifically said, this can't get out. I had said this to my cousin-in-law. I had said, this is something that is very, very dangerous. And the issue is, so this is at this point it's 2019. I had already created the wireless solution. So the wired solution that I was selling this corporation was going to be outdated, and they knew this. Like they knew that I had a wireless solution, but they wanted to start with one thing at a time. I mean, I didn't have a name. It's like this random person that just kind of was able to bypass security protocols for just everything that they wanted. And but my cousin-in-law was saying, well, that this is worth a lot more. I can get us a lot more. And of course, my greed and my pride was saying, yes, absolutely, that's right. We need more. We need more money. This is the future. Future of spyware. Page number 1 on this document specifically talks about text messages that I sent to my cousin John Signs, or cousin-in-law, and it talks about that there's someone named Colonel Harada. and they predicted a massive chipset vulnerability that would happen, and China would take full advantage of this. And I found this when I was doing my research, and I decided to actually say, well, yeah, they're right. And so John said, well, we need some sort of a validation that what you're saying, is real. We need to, the Colonel Don Devine, who is active duty in the Army, working at the Pentagon, had said, we need somebody to back what you're saying and back, the technology that you're presenting or you're wanting to present to the Army. And so I said, well, I found this document from Colonel Harada. Why don't you reach out to Colonel Harada? So at this point, remember, we're 2019, 2010, Colonel Harada had written their master's dissertation on this subject of the chipset vulnerabilities, which I have exploited completely. I've completely exploited these vulnerabilities, and which gives me, authorized access to all of these devices in a way that we have never seen before. So Colonel Don Devine reaches out to Colonel Harada. Colonel Harada validates this, and then it's time to continue forward. So the next email that you're going to see is page number 2 in the PDF. Sorry, it's a little sideways. You probably just, if you're on a Mac, just flip it. And what you'll see is this, there's email, and you'll see that it's forwarded from Colonel Don Devine it's don.d.devine.mil@mail.mil. So she forwarded these documents that were, they're unclassified, but unclassified FOUO for official use only. Now, let me tell you what these documents are. These documents are these are the prerequisites, or they're the requirements documents for a military contract that is not available yet to the public. And again, she forwards this from her MIL address to her Gmail address, and tells my former business partner, says, hey, this is what's required to get a meeting with the 7th. And I didn't know what the 7th was, but I believe, and I may still even be wrong, but I guess Army SOCOM is what this is about. So please, I guess maybe Jason, you can confirm that 7th. I don't know, or anybody in here, but yeah, feel free to speak if somebody's listening, so we can fill people in with the proper information. But either way, this
Yeah.
page. Sorry,
Yeah.
SOCOMs, Army.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're good.
Thanks, Jason. Okay. So it says we should match ours to that. Jonathan was super busy last night, so please forward this to him. I was just swamped. I was overwhelmed with everything. I mean, I'm talking like, there was so much that I had to put together. At the time, I didn't have like this like I was trying to, like, and I have a reading and writing comprehension disability where it's as though like my letters are like turned about 30 degree, and my, like, corrects myself. It's a tough thing. I was diagnosed with it when I was in college. I've done my best to get around it, but it's just the reality of my situation. So writing and reading has always been very tough for me, but writing code, it was like, and there's no problems. It's a very strange thing, writing code, math, and everything is like aligned. Everything's perfect, like no issues. And so that's what she was saying, was just taking, super busy, because I was trying to create the BRICS document that I was talking about at the beginning. The BRICS document is kind of the manifest of what needs to be done and how to actually enable all of these services, all of these ADB services, how to bypass all these authentication prompts. I was writing BRICS, which again, this is in the lawsuit that I'm in. So, and I don't mind sharing all of that with you, but I'm walking you guys through this one part first. So we're on page 3 now, and not only is Colonel Don Devine involved, 6 other people in this let's just call it venture to gain a government contract that has not been available or released to the public. So we've got 6 people. I mean, we had encrypted video chats. I mean, to the point where sometimes one of the participants it was as though it was a movie. I mean, it's like you could see that he was up against the window, and it was like so, shaded that I mean, it was like he was doing one of those interviews. That's, like you're a drug lord and you don't want your face shown, kind of thing. It's funny now because but at the time it was like, holy shit, this is real. These people don't want to know who's involved, but you can see at the very bottom there's a person named Tim who's also in the military, who is putting all these things together. Now what's happening is in this middle, so we're on page number 3 right now, and they're talking about here's the initial draft for the U.S. Army SOCOM interests and capabilities. So I didn't know anything about this, what a capability sheet was at all. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. But I was learning as I went along, and Colonel Don Devine, still active duty in the Pentagon, working in the Pentagon in DC, and so she's guiding my former business partner through all these steps. Like, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to write. And so I was just overwhelmed with everything, and I was like, well, I can't write my capability sheet. I don't know what to write. So she said, you know what, I'm going to write it for you. So she's going to write the capability sheet. Now, no one should ever write your capability sheet for a U.S. Army contract, because it's kind of like your binder, right? This is what you're telling the U.S. government. These are the things that you can do, and you have to stick to them. And so she said, well, just sit with me, and you tell me all the things that you can do. And she's like, I'll write it all up for you. Well, I didn't have the time, but I had a white paper, a short little white paper that I had written up for a project called Project Maven. And you're about to see what so my former business partner gives her the points to actually talk about, and these things are written about me. So I think you'll understand as we go forward. So we're on page number 5, because page number 4 is just it shows the document files that were attached to the email that Colonel Devine had sent. So page number 5 actually is called a Battle Space Awareness Joint Capability. I guess, I don't even know, maybe Jason, you could probably speak a little bit more about this, but from my understanding, it's just actually says like what the kind of what's the mission of this I guess division of the Army. What do they need? It's kind of like, here's the things that we need that the public can help with if you have something, but again, this is not out in the public yet. This is a completely private thing that she knows about. Go ahead, Jason.
Oh, and yeah, Jonathan, I just want you to know that I was in the Navy. The Army does things a little differently. I did work with the NSA, but we were not so forceful with American citizens, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. We worked very closely with American citizens, but we didn't force anybody. We were very careful. And yeah, so go ahead. I'm not sure what the Army did, but I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. So I'm going to read a little bit of this document. I'm going to start with number 2. It says, so the second paragraph on number 2 says that this battle space awareness is looking to make a decision for someone to have the ability to for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, the ability to conduct activities to meet the intelligence needs of national and military decision makers. I'm just reading the highlighted portions that I had highlighted to present. I've been waiting years to present this to people, tell the truth. So the next piece that I highlighted says the communications is what they need. The ability to intercept and derive information from voice and data communications. Cyber network, the ability to gather data from automated information systems, networks, and databases. Human-based collection, the ability to acquire information from human resources, human-derived data, and human reconnaissance assets. Biometrics data, the ability to gather information on an individual based on measurable, anatomical, physiological, and behavioral characteristics. I have coined the term connected behavioral forensics, and I'm sure you can understand why. It's a new discipline in forensics that takes your mobile devices and can build a character set, can recreate a scene based off of the information that I'm able to gather from these devices. The next part of this says the ability to obtain information from acquired, seized, or open source documents and electronic media. Now the next part of this capabilities paper is the part that the kernel actually wrote. And this is what it says. Zero Black LLC is my company, by the way. I own the company, and this is a battle that I'm in with myself and the government and my former business partner, and